Hey y'all, welcome back to Empower Black Doula. Please ignore the drippings on me. I washed my hair and my hair is still dripping, but I kind of like it when it's like that. But that's beside the point. Today's video is going to be about that viral video of that girl's nipple falling off while breastfeeding. So it's a lot of misinformation going out there, and I just was like, let me dedicate a whole video to this because I think there are so many things that we need to talk about it. So let's get into it. All right, let's get started.
I guess, yeah. Swam now with nobody, 'cause I don't wanna.
Okay, so basically I am going to be watching a video on my tablet while I put it up on this screen as well. I'm gonna be watching it on my tablet. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. And then of course we're gonna stop and have like little talking points and stuff like that. But I'm gonna be watching it on my tablet with you guys.
I wish somebody would have told me part 2. You hear the horror stories, people talk about the pain and how they just couldn't do it. It's like every time you go to latch your baby on, you're clenching your ass cheeks together because you know it's going to hurt.
We're gonna talk about that too, because that it's gonna hurt. Oh, let's talk about it. Hold on, let's go back to the video.
So here I am, 15, just gave birth, trying to get my baby to latch, feeling like he has a good latch, talked to the lactation counselor, went to WIC and had all the help I needed, felt really positive, the baby's gaining weight, till I noticed the latch was not so good. My nipple started to turn black at the base and white at the tip. That's a signal for bad blood flow. There's no blood flow getting through the nipples. That's a dead nipple and dead tissue. I latched my baby boy on, he's nursing, and he stops. I'm looking down, he's kind of choking. My nipple broke off, and he had it in his mouth. I start to panic, I start to freak out. I don't know what the hell is going on. Luckily, I was with my mom and my sister, and they're like, hurry, let's get the nipple and put it back on. I rinsed the nipple off in water and I put it back on. I called the advice nurse. They told me if the nipple is still alive and has enough blood flow in it, that it can actually reattach itself and to keep that Band-Aid on. That's what I did. My nipple's not perfect today, but it's still here. That was the last day I ever breastfed that child. I will never breastfeed again. Where I heard breastfeeding was painful and hard to adjust to, I never knew that my nipple could actually detach.
Okay, so first of all, I want to address the comment of clenching and painful and breastfeeding being painful. If you breastfeed and it's ever painful, please physically go see a lactation consultant. And I'm going to tell you why I'm saying physically go see a lactation consultant in a minute. But physically go see a lactation consultant and help with that latch, because it can be so many different issues, tongue tie, and I can do a full video if you want me to about tongue tie. I can even try to get a professional to come on and kind of like interview them about it, because tongue tie is so important. But hold on one second. We have some talking points I wrote down, so give me a minute. So what happened to her basically is vasospasms or whatever. Is basically when the blood flow is blocked in your nipple. This can actually happen with any breast procedure that you get, like breast lift or getting implants. This can happen, but with hers, obviously it wasn't that case. She was 15 years old, right? And the other one that she pointed out, necros, is when the tissue dies in your nipple. So that's another one that she pointed out. Like I said, it's not associated with breastfeeding. It's not something that can happen to you necessarily when you are breastfeeding. If you are seeing a lactation specialist, you should not be concerned about that. Necros, whatever it is a rare thing that can happen with any type of procedure, not just breast, but any type of procedure. When I mentioned before that vasospasm or whatever that is can happen in your breast, I was talking about specifically the breast because she was talking about the breast. But anyways, either one of those conditions it's rare, but it can happen with any procedure that you have. If you're getting your toe fixed, the tissue on your toe can die. You know, the blood flow can stop on your toe, so it can happen anywhere. So I'm also going to insert this video of her talking about leading up to when the nipple fell off. It's like a small clip, but here that video is right there, and then we'll come back and we'll talk.
Way. This was back when they used to tell us to get a wash rag and scrub our nipples, you know, maybe around like 36 weeks pregnancy and up, to toughen the nipples up. So my nipples were beat to hell even before the baby was born. Also told me that I could stimulate my nipples in order to go into labor, and I was a week late. So I was stimulating, like rubbing my nipples and being way too aggressive with them.
So if you see in that video her talking about leading up to that, she talked about how she was rough with her nipples and the things she was doing to it, and she was doing nipple stimulation and something about a cold towel, which I have never heard of. That's crazy, but times have changed, thank God. But she was doing a lot to her nipple. So it makes me think, like, I'm wondering, was the things that led up to her before she breastfed, if that could have led to her having like a dead nipple, like blood flow. I don't know. But then when you think about it, you would think like movement and stuff like that would help the blood flow. So it's just so many things to think about. But this is completely rare, and it's not necessarily associated with breastfeeding. I want to point that out. I want to emphasize that this is not associated with breastfeeding. This is not something that just, oh, it's just one of those things that, oh my God, women just go through so much pregnant and breastfeeding. It's not one of those things. So I really want to emphasize that. Also, I'm not sure about her race or ethnicity. Why can't I say that word? Anyways, I'm not sure about where her background is or anything like that, but she looks to be a minority. So I just want to talk about how minorities do not have access to resources and care that they need. And she made a follow-up video, and I'll post that clip.
We wouldn't like Google stuff or be able to find like someone in the area that can help us. We were calling La Leche League. WIC was available. I had WIC. I got help from WIC, but I didn't have a car to go in to see anybody, and they wouldn't like come to my house, you know?
She contacted a lactation specialist with WIC, but because she didn't have like funds to be able to travel to that person, she just had a phone conversation with them, and she wasn't able to see anybody face to face. So if you remember early in our video, I was like, make sure you can be able to physically see someone. That's what I was talking about. And specifically her follow-up video, she emphasized more that she wasn't able to see a lactation specialist. Ooh, another thing I want to mention is that advice nurse telling her to put a Band-Aid on it and check with her OB in 6 weeks. 6 weeks? Man, my nipple just came off. You want me to wait 6 weeks? That's a whole nother story. That was absolutely poor advice on that nurse's end, and so ridiculous that she would tell her to wait 6 weeks. But this is the type of care that you receive when you go the traditional route as far as like medicine goes. When you choose an out-of-hospital midwife, they see you various times for a few weeks after you give birth. And I am going to insert another clip at the end of this video of her giving a very PSA that I think is really, really important. Overall, the thing is that this cannot happen with every single person that breastfeed. This is not something that would just happen. This is a rare thing that happened to her. And from what she described in the video, she did a lot of roughness with her nipples that could have possibly contributed to it as well. And if breastfeeding hurts, please, 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 reach out to a professional, reach out to a lactation consultant. I think it's extremely important that we have a relationship with a lactation consultant while pregnant. That way, after you get pregnant, you already established some sort of relationship with them. And if anything happens, you can literally pick up the phone and call them like, hey girl, this is what's going on. That's what's going on. All these different things. I think it would be a really good idea to do a video with a professional to talk about tongue tie, because this is another reason why your baby could have that poor latch and why you could be clenching your butt cheeks when they latch on if they have tongue tie. So let me know if you guys are interested in seeing that video, and I'll get some type of professional on here and we will do an interview and we'll kind of talk about tongue tie. But yeah, that is the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching and watching all this water drip on my body. That sounded a little weird, but thank you guys for watching. There is another video that's going to be posted on Wednesday. I just kind of wanted to do a little bonus video. I'm trying to be more consistent with YouTube. So bye. See you guys in the next video.
There's also a lot of people saying that they would never want to breastfeed or they'd like to quit breastfeeding now, but please do not let my experience be your determining factor to not have kids or to not breastfeed.
Nobody did it over text, didn't call me. Still got love for your mommy.